Hey guys, welcome to episode number 15 of Intelligent Wrestling Talk. I am Dan Janoff.
And I'm a very sleepy Sean Specs.
If you are new to the show, welcome. This is our weekly wrestling show where we talk about the week that was wrestling, give some news, and have a segment we call Facebook Post of the Week where we find our favorite Facebook post within our group. And lastly, and most importantly, we have a Q&A with everyone in the group. What we do is about 24 to 48 hours beforehand, we post a Q&A thread for all of our members to post their questions, and we answer them during this recording. Also, if there's ever anything you ever want to skip to, say you just want to hear SmackDown, or you just want to hear about the questions, with the magic of YouTube, you just click the time next to it, and it fast forwards you right to that point. With that being said, let's get started with TNA Bound for Glory. With the opening match, it started with was the X Division Ultimate X Championship match between Jeff Hardy, Austin Aries, Chris Sabin, Samoa Joe, and Manic. It was a good match. Certainly not the best Ultimate X match we've seen, but it certainly wasn't bad. I thought it had a little bit of a confusing ending, or maybe it sort of seemed that way just because of the crowd's reaction. Sabin would put Velvet in the ring, and then taking the title from Hardy as they were both trying to reach for it together, kind of smacked him on the head. And 1 month he's the World Heavyweight Champion, the next month he's the X Division Champion.
It's happened before. I think they did that with AJ.
Yeah.
At one point, he kind of lost the world title and then was back in the X Division title hunt. This is TNA. You can't expect continuity.
Yeah, it's true.
But I don't know. I don't think the finish was that bad, really. It was your standard kind of. I mean, again, that kind of finish has happened many times, especially like Money in the Bank as well, hitting them in the face with a briefcase. They fall. Here's your winner.
Wasn't there a point where they banned ladders from X Division matches?
Kind of adds to it, really.
Yeah. I mean, I just haven't seen any sort of ladders involved in it prior to this, so I just kind of figured that they didn't really use ladders, but
like I say, this is TNA. Don't expect continuity or logic for
no.
the most part. For the most part, they're doing all right.
But speaking of logic, though, before we get into the next match, we saw throughout the night different promos and things celebrating AJ Styles' career, and I gotta ask if TNA, if Dixie wanted him out so badly, why would they be showing promos of that throughout the night?
I think it was a goodbye present to the audience, possibly. You know, it's like, here's AJ's highlights. You'll never see him again.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's the only way I could see it, really. It's, but they almost made it too obvious that he was going to win anyway.
Yeah. Certainly seemed that way. But but before we get into that, we still have a few other matches to get into. Next, we have the TNA Tag Team Championship match. Before the show, there was a little triple threat tag team match, and the team of I can't remember who's in the tag team for some reason.
I think it was the Bromans, Joseph Park and Eric Young. Bad Influence.
Yeah.
Chavo and Hernandez were in there.
Yeah, all right. And the Bromans would end up getting the win, and then that would get them the match against James Storm and Gunner, the tag team champions. And going into this match, I had no idea it was going to be as good as it was, but I thought it was quite good. And though it kind of shocked everybody to see, we have new tag team champions.
Exactly, but they're not really doing much with Jesse, though. He doesn't seem to really. I mean, he broke up a few pinfalls, but he's not hugely competitive in the ring. It's all Robbie doing the work.
Yeah.
I think Robbie's losing control over his hair as well.
Yeah, there's a sweat and hair gel don't really mix too well.
Could take someone's eye out.
All right. Before going into this pay-per-view, though, we would find out that Kurt Angle was going to be inducted to their Hall of Fame. And during the night, Sting would attempt to induct him into the Hall of Fame because apparently that's what they need to do.
Yeah.
But he said he was going to decline the offer to continue to overcome his addiction and to prove himself worthy of the honor. I've never really heard of that before.
See, I'm surprised he didn't hint next day go and say, no, my promo was hacked. I do want the award.
I think that would be a funny way to try to explain that. But moving on to the pay-per-view, we had a triple threat for the TNA Knockouts Championship. It was between Gail Kim, Brooke Tessmacher, and ODB. This was a very solid match, I thought, and we would end up seeing Gail Kim get the win with a little bit of help.
I couldn't resist. Sorry.
It's all right. I thought it was a very, very interesting pairing.
Yeah. I mean, this is the thing. The TNA women's matches, obviously, like they just run supreme over anything WWE's doing in the past, I don't know, 4, 5, a million years. Yeah. Pretty much. So, I mean, anytime you see sort of Gail Kim in the ring, and she's like a fantastic female wrestler.
Yeah, she really is.
And she very rarely has bad matches. I mean, she can have good matches with Taryn Terrell, who seems to have vanished.
Yeah, where's she gone?
She's not in my basement.
I would hope not.
I don't have a basement.
Oh.
So that's me off the hook.
I don't know, because I haven't heard her doing any sort of indie dates or anything like that.
No. Is she in your basement?
I do not have one.
Then we're both off the hook.
All right, then.
Wait.
All right, and let's get into the main events of Bound for Glory. It was between AJ Styles and Bully Ray for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. And there's one thing I want to point out before we get actually into what happened during the match. I don't know if you caught this, but before the match even started, Taz, obviously one of the commentators for TNA, he apparently didn't know where AJ Styles was from. Like he had trouble remembering where exactly he was from. How does he not know where he's from? He's the top babyface in your company.
I don't know. He's mentioned it before. Maybe it was just a brain fart moment, but because he has mentioned it, unless that was just a line he was fed.
I don't know.
But yeah, I think we can just put it down to I don't know, just a brain fart.
Alrighty.
We all have those, and sometimes they're quite smelly.
All right, with the match itself, yeah, I thought it was pretty damn good. We would see tons of interference against AJ, but apparently that wasn't enough to really stop AJ from winning the World Heavyweight title back, and it ended Bound for Glory.
Indeed. No matter how many chairs Dixie wanted to put in the ring.
Yeah, and then how much Bully wanted to tear apart the ring.
Yeah. What a crazy fool.
Yep. And that does it for Bound for Glory. Now, it's time to move into some Monday Night Raw. The show started off with Triple H and Stephanie McMahon coming out to the ring, saying how angry they were for what the Big Show has been doing. And as they were talking, they were interrupted by the Big Show. Apparently, he somehow hacked into their TV feed, and he was live via satellite. And Stephanie would eventually cut him off when he really started to insult her. I'm kind of curious as to how they wanted to explain how he got that feed.
Maybe Kurt Angle helped him hack things.
Maybe.
And then Kurt Angle would say someone hacked his hacking ability. And then Big Show was like, and then Raw happened, and then everything's fine.
Yeah. All right, and then later on we would see the Shield taking on the Usos, which would be for the number one contenders for the tag team titles. The match would end up ending. I guess it was a double disqualification, no contest, or something like that, with
Yeah,
different people
yes,
getting
it
involved.
seemed like that.
And afterwards, it would be announced that we would have a triple threat for the tag team titles.
Hmm. Which I think is, I think that's going to be a cool match.
Yeah,
We've seen, we've seen kind of the Shield work, and I think it was on Backstage Fallout. Um,
yeah,
Rollins was actually doing most of the talking, which I don't know. I think he's getting better. I don't think he was ever sort of bad on the mic. I think it was just more of a
no,
confidence thing because they just basically used him purely as a performer, not a talker. But now
yeah,
he's getting more chance to talk. He's doing all right. So, I mean, he's saying that sort of the bigger matches like that is what they thrive, and he's right.
mhm,
They seem to, the matches seem to be a lot better the more people there are in
yeah.
the ring. So, whether the Shield will win or not is, I mean, in the random poll that we had on the Facebook page, I don't think anyone had voted the Shield to win.
No, no. I
Um,
think they all picked for Cody and Goldust.
so I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, and not really a lot of important stuff really happened. So during the show, so we're gonna skip right on to the end to where the contract signing between Randy Orton and Daniel Bryan.
Are you saying that Brie Bella or Cheese Baby isn't important?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the the match itself was just it. It wasn't really important. I didn't think.
No,
Unless you want to talk about it, we can talk about it.
no. It was the same match they've been having for the past how many weeks?
Yeah.
To the main event.
Yep. And like I said, this was the contract signing between Randy Orton and Daniel Bryan. This was it really just seemed just to further push their match at Hell in a Cell, which will also have a special guest referee in the form of Shawn Michaels, and it would end kind of strangely because Big Show would come driving in with the semi truck, and apparently he just wanted to come in there and just celebrate as the show ended.
Hmm. Yeah.
Maybe he'll be a factor in their match on Sunday.
Maybe he'll cut through the ring again like he did when he debuted.
Yeah, I think that would probably be the only way to get in the ring, I believe.
Hmm.
Or maybe he has some keys to unlock the doors.
Convenient. Or maybe
Yeah,
he'll actually just drive a massive tank in there and just blow the entire cell up.
yeah.
Anything
And
can happen in the WWE.
that's apparently true. And now it's time to move into NXT and the start of the show. We would see Corey Graves come out. Blah. We would see Corey Graves come out to the ring, where he would attempt to explain himself, but didn't really get a chance as Adrian Neville would end up attacking him from behind. The rest would have to break this one up, and I definitely foresee a lot of great matches out of these two, and maybe even later on in the show.
Yeah, but I mean they've had them before in the indies and whatnot, and there was quite a few yes chants, but amongst the yes chants, I heard some Pac chants.
Hmm.
Or I think I did. Anyway, I don't know. I might have just been overly wanting them too much, but I'm pretty sure there was like a few people chanting Pac.
Yeah, I think I heard a little bit of it. It wasn't strong, but
No,
definitely something.
no. He looks all right in a suit.
Yeah. It looks a little different considering what his usual attire is.
Yeah. I don't know. He seemed to have be. He almost looked like a mixture of the way he has his hair and whatnot. But I mean, he's obviously had that for a while. But it's almost like Fandango, and his style is kind of like Austin Aries.
Yeah.
So I mean, if they can add like some Austin Aries elements to his, I guess, personality, so to speak, you know, it's a good addition to any personality.
Yeah.
Unless you like Undertaker. I couldn't imagine Undertaker walking around being like Austin Aries.
No.
As funny as that'd be, but it'd also be really awkward.
Well, I'm sure that's something you could make happen in the new game.
Yes, the game that's out next week.
Yeah.
Well, in a few days, really, in America anyway. And then on the 1st of November.
Yeah, I don't have it pre-ordered. I'll probably end up picking up maybe, I don't know, I want to say sometime in mid-November.
You and your delayed shenanigans.
Yes.
I've had it pre-ordered for the past 3 months, pretty much.
Yeah, I probably should have did that myself.
I'm just wondering how many Undertaker autographs would be on eBay.
I wouldn't be surprised if most of them are on there.
I'm really not sure what to do with mine. It's like if I keep it, that's like an authentic Undertaker autograph. Way. But if I sell it, that's quite a lot of money. I could probably like get my money for the game back.
Probably. I could see people wanting to pay extra money for that.
Exactly.
All right, we're getting a little too far off track here. Let's get right back into the show.
It's
Later.
early, we're both tired. People will
Yes.
deal with our ramblings.
Yes, they will, and they will like it.
Yeah.
But later on, we would see a interview from Sami Zayn talking to WWE.com where he compared himself to Daniel Bryan after feeling like he's not the company chosen guy after JBL decided to restart the match for Bo, but didn't decide to restart it for him. And after that, JBL would end up responding by saying, Sammy won't be back until he apologizes to him.
Yeah. It's just weird, the fact that he only seems to be this sort of JBL I'm talking about. He only seems to be this kind of heel on NXT, but everything else, he seems to be all, light-hearted and fun. And I don't know, his character on NXT makes no sense.
Yeah.
Because it's just a constant contradiction.
Yeah, it certainly seems that way.
Yeah.
All right. And the end of the show, we actually would see Corey Graves taking on Adrian Neville. And this turned out to be another really good main event for the show. That we would end up seeing Corey Graves taking advantage of Neville's hurt leg with lucky number 13, and Neville ends up tapping out. It would end up continuing, though, outside of the ring, and once again, they would have to be pulled apart by the refs.
I have a really sort of annoyance about the what the ring announcer said at the end. You can't win by tap out unless you are actually tapping out and then somehow win. It actually makes no sense. The correct term is winning by submission.
Yes.
Yeah, that's like winning by getting knocked out. Doesn't make sense. Plus, can I just talk about Emma for a few seconds?
Sure.
Emma's cute. It's weird. I don't know. It's kind of like a weird. She's almost got a slight creepiness to her face. But it's like like a creepy cuteness. But yeah, and her match with Sasha. Did you hear Sasha quote Bully Ray?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. And can we all have an Emma sandwich? They seem quite nice.
Yeah, they really do.
Yeah. Also, I have realised a couple of weeks ago I was trying to think who Bo Dallas reminded me of when he does his he's like yeah, I've worked out who it is or who it could be.
Who is it?
Right, you've seen Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back?
Yeah.
Sean William Scott's character in that. He's that kind of.
Oh, yeah, the guitar, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I remember him.
Yeah, so I like that. And also, Konnichiwa is Japanese for hello, not goodbye. It's goodbye, sayonara. But you already knew that.
All right, then. I guess now it's time to move into some Impact Wrestling.
Yes.
And here we go again with another Impact that would start off with My little little annoyance of Dixie trying to talk over the crowd once
Mm.
again. As
I have
yeah,
I have a slight I have a question before we actually get started on this.
what's that?
Although it goes kind of back to Bound for Glory. Was that Abraham Washington interviewing the Bromans?
I don't remember. I'd have to go back and watch it, but I don't remember.
It was either on the main show or it was on like a backstage thing, but it looked just like him.
I'll have to go back and watch that and see for sure. But I don't know.
I'll try and find it. Once we're done here, I'll send you a link if I can
Oh,
find a link
alrighty.
or a Zelda.
Or Zelda.
Yep.
Here goes another impact that ends up starting with the Dixie end up trying to talk over the crowd once again. I know it's a little pet peeve, but it's kind of annoying to me, I guess, and because the fans are trying to chant something and just she just wouldn't acknowledge it for whatever reason. But she would end up saying that she made some mistakes and that she wanted to correct him by welcoming AJ back, and uh, AJ would end up coming down the ring, looked very reluctant to accept her apology in the form of all the gifts, and she even offers to cancel the title rematch. And we see Bolio would come out and say AJ got lucky and blamed the ref for his loss, and said a really funny line that if God was a bully, it would be him. Which I thought was kind of interesting.
I do like Bully Ray's promos.
Yeah.
He's just I think he's always been good
Yeah.
on them ever since he's like ECW days.
Yeah, I think he's also always sounded like extremely convincing. Like all the fans would buy into what he was saying.
Yeah. He's one of the few people that you can tell that he truly I don't know I'd say truly believes what he says, but not like in a like an arrogant way. But
Yeah.
he says it with enough conviction. And as an actor myself, I know all about that. But um, but yeah, it's kind of his promos are believable.
Yeah.
And the problem with a lot of people is their promos just aren't. You can tell they're just remembering lines.
Yeah, because they always sound really flat.
Yeah, which is what always bugged me about Miz.
Yeah.
He sounds so robotic and boring. Even when he's shouting, he just sounds dull.
Yeah, he really does.
But he sounds like like life and soul of the party compared to Orton when he tries to speak.
Oh yeah. Yeah, most definitely.
It took me 10 hours to walk to the ring, and now I will talk at you.
Robo-Orton destroy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and after that, we would see Bully would end up attacking him with just about everything that was in the ring with the whole setup they had there.
Pretty much, yeah.
And then the lights would end up going out, and everyone was wondering, "Oh, who's there? Who is this?" And we would see the return of one Mister.
Down, down, down. Yeah.
Yeah, and we would see his return, and he would come out and beat up Bully Ray. Uh,
That was an actual surprising return.
yeah, I was legitimately surprised. I got up because for a while we weren't really sure what they were going to do with him, if anything at all, because there
No.
were rumors that he was going to leave the company and all these other things, and no, he's
Well,
staying right there in TNA.
apparently he had gone. So,
Yeah.
and also every time AJ Styles came out,
Hmm.
they were just playing Evil Ways. It didn't go in. Maybe I don't know. Maybe he wasn't ready to fly that night, but they just stuck with Evil Ways, which
Yeah,
I thought was a bit weird.
yeah. I'm not really sure why he has two themes. Why he just can't stick with one.
Yeah, I mean, as we said before, it was good, with the first sort of transition,
Hmm.
but yeah, I don't think it works now.
No, and especially with with the matches that he's had with Bully Ray, because their themes sound so similar.
Mm.
At least in the style, I think.
Oh yes, but don't forget there was also another huge return to Impact. I don't know if you caught it.
I don't have that in my notes. I think I missed it.
It was the lyrical Aces and Eights theme.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I marked out a little bit for that.
I don't know why. I don't know how I missed that.
You were still thinking about Velvet Sky's bottom.
Maybe. I don't know. All right. All right, let's get didn't really see anything else really important happen unless there's anything you want to talk about before we get to the main event.
Yes, Christy
All right.
Hemme started glitching.
Glitching.
Yeah, you know when she was introducing Ethan? She just started glitching. She kept saying,
I
the following contest. The following contest. What are you doing?
was this
She
off of something you were
repeated it.
watching?
No, this was an actual inner, and the rest of the audio was playing properly.
That's strange.
So it couldn't have separated itself to be like, oh, didn't it do it for you?
No, I didn't hear it at all.
That's so weird, because the one I was watching, she kind of said the following contest about 3 times, and then said it properly, and then introduced Ethan.
That's really weird.
Yeah. Also, a little note on Ethan's opponent. I mean, the past 2 opponents have been kind of, obviously, indie workers. Given random names, they don't sound too threatening, but the guy who he faced on Impact, he was pretty much in his indie attire, minus the mask, because he actually wrestles as White Tiger. And funnily enough, he's someone I actually used to talk to back when MySpace and MSN were all the rage.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I thought I recognised him, but so that was good.
Alrighty. Do you have anything else, or was that?
I had a couple notes on the women's tag match.
All right.
It was quite messy,
Yeah.
and I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not sure what's really they're going to do with Velvet. I don't know whether they're going to turn her heel,
Yeah.
or just have a split from Sabin. But the most predictable thing is that they have them split, then
Yeah.
have this kind of weird feudy thing where it turns out that Velvet was siding with Sabin all along, and then she sort of screws over whoever she's teaming with. And
That'd be interesting.
yeah, I can see that happening. I mean, it's been done like a million times, but
Yeah.
there's only those scenarios that could possibly work, really, or
Yeah.
none of them. I don't know. They could just stay how they are, but like I always say, this is TNA. I don't know. Don't always expect the most logical thing.
No, certainly not.
I think WWE just are pretty much in the same boat. Don't expect the most logical thing.
Yeah. It's just whatever they can think of at the time, and they go with it.
Yeah, which is why they need Heyman and I don't know if they ever got Cornette back, that would be good.
Isn't he still with ROH?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I think he quit or got fired or something. But I mean, if he is, then he stayed very quiet. Because he used to do like little columns and
Yeah.
rants and stuff. And I don't know. He's just been very quiet lately.
I'll have to look that up. I'm curious now if he still is.
Go stalk him.
I don't think I'll do that.
He'll run after you with his bat. Well, his racket, should I say.
Yeah, definitely don't want that.
Yeah. That is, I mean, that's probably the biggest cheers and responses from an Impact crowd in a long time.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all I've got to say on that.
Alrighty, so we'll move right on into the World Heavyweight championship rematch between Bully Ray and AJ. It was another great match. We wouldn't see any interference this time from Aces and Ace or Dixie, but we would see it in the form of Mr. Anderson, who I'd like to mention was handcuffed and removed from the arena beforehand. And we would see AJ Styles end up getting a roll up for the win. Uh, Mr. Anderson and Boley would continue to fight outside the ring after the match. And then we would see Dixie, who would interrupt and just completely discounting what happened between Mr. Anderson, even though she did throw him out earlier, and said she had a contract for AJ. I thought that was weird. I think you would remember something like that instead of just completely discounting what happened.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just either they're building to something or they're kind of panicking and rushing random things.
Yeah.
I just hope that this isn't them trying to turn Dixie face already again.
I don't know. Maybe they're starting to see what I'm seeing, and because she's good as a heel, I think, but it's just it doesn't really seem like she knows how to really interact with the crowd.
No, but have you noticed that when she was trying to be a face, she was less rednecky?
Yeah.
Which was my whole point last week. It's like the more heel she is, the more redneck she sounds. It's bizarre.
Yeah. But after the commercial break, we would see her come out to the ring, talking over the crowd again, saying she has a contract for AJ, and that he would wind up taking the contract and doing something fairly interesting with the contract, and says that money can't fix her problems, and says that she's going to pay by taking the title away from her, and ends up leaving with her car, and that ends the show.
Yes, it does. Her car that was conveniently already pretty much on and ready to go in position.
Yeah.
So whether he'd, I don't know, put it there already or
Yeah.
all
Whenever
very
they have these,
convenient.
yeah, whenever they have these car segments for any wrestling show, they're always conveniently placed for them to leave.
Yes. And no one abides the speed limit laws.
Yeah, they always like to speed right on out of there.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move right along into Friday Night Smackdown. The show started off with Michael Cole and Triple H in the ring. Triple H would end up saying that he can't really talk about the Big Show anymore due to legal reasons from his attorney, and says that Shawn will do the right thing at the match at Hell in a Cell. We were about to find out what exactly that was because Michael Cole asked that question, but Daniel Bryan would come out and says that he's going to prove Triple H wrong and he's going to become the new WWE champion and the new face of the WWE. But to be honest, I think he kind of is right now anyway without the title.
Oh, yeah. That's the thing is, I'm pretty sure it was Triple H that said it a while ago that it's not the title that makes the man, it's the man that makes the title.
Yeah.
It was essentially, it was basically that the first segment and the main event with a bunch of filler in between.
Yeah. And that main event would turn out to be Goldust, Cody Rhodes, Biggie Langston, and Daniel Bryan taking on The Shield and Randy Orton. It would turn out to be a pretty good main event, and we would end up seeing a needed face by Bryan to Randy Orton as he would get the win for his team, and that ends Friday Night Smackdown.
Yep. Filler that's not even worth talking about.
And there's a lot of Raw recap, and of course a lot of the Cena return nonsense.
Yep. And that's that.
Yeah, that is that.
It is,
And we'll. Um, I didn't really see too much in as far as news. I was wondering if you had anything this week.
I have one piece of news,
Alrighty.
and that is the fact that well, it's not really wrestling news, but for all you Bellator fans out there, seems like all this promotion for Rampage Jackson versus Tito Ortiz over the last few months has been a complete waste, as Tito has apparently been pulled from the pay-per-view because of a neck injury.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah. I mean, that's one way to sort of. I mean, obviously it's no one's fault, but
No,
I don't
no,
know.
sir.
Maybe Tito could have been more. This happened in training,
Oh,
so maybe he could have been more careful. But I mean, these things happen. It's
yeah,
unavoidable, really. Well, it
yeah.
is avoidable, but I guess if it's, oh, I don't know. Actually, I don't know what his training regime's like. So, but yeah, that's essentially all the news I have because there's just nothing that's happened.
Yeah, it seems to be a fairly slow week as far as that goes.
It's been a slow month. There's just been.
Yeah.
I mean, as we mentioned earlier, WWE 2K14's out in I don't know 3 days in America,
I think that's right. I think it
2 days.
comes out
How many
either
days are in
Monday
this
or
month?
oh God. I think it's 31 because of Halloween.
Right.
But
Yeah,
I think it comes out on it's
it's
either Monday or Tuesday.
29th. Yeah.
Yeah, it's on Tuesday.
Yeah. And then ours is on the Friday following. Um, yeah, it's probably too late. I mean, as much as Audrey Citizen says, pre-order, it's probably too late to pre-order, really. Well,
Probably.
it's definitely too late to pre-order the Undertaker edition anyway. That's sold out all over.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll end up finding a whole bunch of those on eBay anyway.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting anyway.
Yeah.
So, um, I mean, they're still uploading now 3 entrances of the game a day
Yeah.
on their website, but I'm not. I see. I can't think who else there is. I mean, there's probably there's Jinder and there's Drew,
Yeah.
Caitlyn. It's probably like a few of us, but yeah. I mean, I don't know whether they've timed this wrong and they're going to end up not being able to get everyone on there before the game's even out. I know they've got um, their last live stream that they're
Yeah.
doing streak mode, where basically you run around naked as the Undertaker, where a group of superstars come and try and take you down, and then I just no. Apparently, naked Brian Kendrick's going to be DLC for that mode,
Oh
as
God.
is naked Midian.
It's gonna be an interesting interesting thing in the game.
Yeah. But no, that's it. That's it for news, really. That's everything.
Alrighty. Now I guess yeah, we didn't really go over too much of this beforehand, but this is our uh Facebook post of the week.
I found something.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I did. As we were talking, I had a glimpse, and I think just for I guess sentimental reasons and value, and just the awesomeness of the picture. I'm picking Josh Youngblood's I guess family portrait with Daniel Bryan.
Oh yeah, I love that.
It's a really nice picture, and it definitely would look good over the fireplace. So yeah, it's a great picture. He looks like one of the family.
Yeah, it really does.
I can't help but notice that Josh looks like Duke the Dumpster Josie a bit as well. That's not an insult, by the way.
No, no, definitely not.
It's just something I happen to notice.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a very cool picture. So well done. You are this week's winner. So again, there are no prizes.
Yay. Alrighty.
Fireworks and see everyone else to be money that they never got sound effects and fireworks.
No.
Well, tough. They didn't have pictures with Daniel Bryan.
No, definitely not. That was probably the best I've seen.
Yeah, it definitely seems like the most personal thing.
Oh yeah.
And it's stuff like that that definitely gets our attention rather than just a generic copy and paste job. Stuff that's actually your own work.
And just not something that's really boring.
Exactly. You know. Uh, I could tell you what the worst post of the week was, but I think someone would get upset about that.
Ooh, yeah, we may want to save that for the post show.
Yes.
Alrighty. Yeah, so I guess we're really moving quite fast here. We're
Yeah,
already on our Q&A portion of the show. This
indeed.
is,
And we don't have that many questions.
yeah,
People, where have you been? We put this up 48 hours beforehand.
seriously. We usually get at least, what, like 15, 20
Yeah,
at least?
15 on average.
Yeah. All right, well, I guess we'll start off right at the top here, which I think we may end up skipping. It's the first one from Damie. What do you think of the storyline between Sting and Magnus? And I've already talked
Yeah,
about that last week, didn't we?
we did. See, I don't think he actually listens to the show because every question he asks is stuff we've already covered.
Yeah. I
So,
think I might have to put something in there next time to maybe just not talk about current storylines because we kind of cover that during our recaps.
yeah, just the
I'll,
quite boring questions.
yeah, I'll have to make a note of that.
Mm.
All right, next question is from Michelle, who asks, "Do you think guys like Sami Zayn are kept in NXT longer simply because they bring huge ratings to the show and not because they aren't ready yet?"
Yeah, I reckon that's why Paige is still there as well, because
Yeah,
people are. I hate saying the word tune in because it sounds so dated, but that people are going to the shows to see guys like Sami Zayn and women like Paige, and Chris Hero and Corey Graves and whatnot. It's all those
yeah,
the people that have made like huge names in like Ring of Honor or even smaller companies. Um, they're the ones that are bringing in the audience. I don't think, and most people are going there going, "Oh, I can't wait to see Bo Dallas."
no,
I'm like, wait,
I know, I don't.
no. So it's yeah. I mean, if they, this is why I said that they have to pick their moment when they're calling them up.
Yeah,
They have to pick the right moment because if you take everyone at once, that's just they're only gonna push so many at a time. So you're gonna have like a bunch of really talented people that are basically not getting seen or getting thrown on superstars or main event
yeah,
because there's just no room for them on the roster. That's why they're I mean, they picked the right time to, I guess, bring the Wyatts up because they needed, someone else, even though there was still the Shield happening. And I'm still surprised there's been no interaction between the Shield and the Wyatts.
yeah. I mean, we would have to imagine it would have to happen at some point, but
I don't know, it's weird. Like I said, they could have just, like walked past each other and just given each other a weird look. And like as I said, like Dean Ambrose could have gone, yeah, I like those guys. Which is exactly what I said before, but
yeah,
it's just weird how awesome like Ambrose is a fit for those for the Wyatts.
yeah. I think that could definitely work.
But
Then again, I think he's talented enough to really make any real gimmick work
yeah,
because he's just that good.
he is. He's the best in the world.
Harold. Ha ha ha.
Ha ha ha. Uh, yeah. So I mean, to answer the question that was just sidetracked off again,
Yeah,
but um, yeah, I do think that they do keep certain people around, even if the timing is right. I mean, maybe they keep them a bit longer, just
yeah,
because they're the ones that are bringing in the viewers. If NXT didn't have like Sami Zayn, even just him losing him, it'd probably decrease ratings and whatnot. They just need a bigger network to actually be on.
yeah,
So yeah, I don't know. They've just got to be really careful because there is such thing as having too much of a good thing, and you can't have it all on one show.
yeah. I certainly agree with that.
Yeah.
All right, the next question is from Jade. How's this for an angle? Daniel Bryan, either at Hell in a Cell or after, becomes WWE champion. Triple H decides that if nobody can get the job done, he will. He will. And so he enters himself into the Royal Rumble at 30. He wins and faces Bryan at WrestleMania for the title. Sounds good to me. What do you guys think?
See, how I do it is, it's gonna sound weird, but like Triple H keeps the title off pretty much everybody and says there's only one person that can possibly carry this title with the prestige and honor that it deserves,
Hmm.
and that's him. So he makes
Yeah.
himself the champion. Then at WrestleMania, he faces Bryan for the title, and Bryan wins.
Yeah.
Because that's not only beating Triple H, that's beating Triple H at WrestleMania and for the title. That's like three huge things.
Yeah, and at WrestleMania, that's usually the best place for any sort of feud, just to end, and
Yeah,
they just to kind of just restart the next thing on Monday Night Raw.
exactly. That's what I do.
That sounds perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, next from is from Silva, who asks, "Who do you or why do you think WWE shows clips of Ring of Honor but not TNA? Surely both are technically rival promotions.
Yeah, I don't get this either.
Don't
Like,
they have some sort of partnership between the two? Something? I could have remember reading something like a long while back that they had
see,
something there.
they, I don't know whether it's like an official partnership, but they had some sort of, I don't know whether it was official or what, but I know that they send scouts down there quite a bit.
Yeah,
But that's the thing. There's like interactions between, like, as we heard like a few months ago, like Stephanie and Dixie and whatnot. It
yeah,
just seems really weird. But yeah, I
yeah.
mean, they show loads of like indie promotions and Ring of Honor stuff in like CM Punk's documentary.
Hmm.
They showed it in the Daniel Bryan clip
Yeah,
as well. You should clearly see there, and I just don't understand why they Photoshop his name, like in the old magazines, because back
yeah.
then it didn't say Daniel Bryan.
No.
So that makes no sense. And what's the point of covering up that he was Bryan Danielson?
Yeah, and plus they've already acknowledged his real name on the Total Divas show.
Yeah, and on WWE.com as well.
Yeah.
And didn't they do it on Raw? Didn't they? Didn't I'm sure I heard
Uh,
Danielson, the name
I'm not
Danielson
sure.
on there, but
I think you may be right, but I just don't remember.
it's just, again, it's just weird lack of continuity and logic.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you have anything to add to that?
No, I think you said it perfectly.
Excellent.
All right, moving on to one of a series of questions from Tim. First question is, do you think wrestling promotions should share talent to allow good wrestlers to get more exposure and TV time?
Yes and no. Or no, I'd say more yes and maybe, because if I don't know, if all, say, like three different indie promotions. I know this is happening. There's like a few indie promotions that have apparently sort of merged into one big thing. Um, but you see, I don't know if the same talent's appearing on all the shows. Surely that kind of defeats the purpose of having individual ones, and you might as well have one big one.
Yeah,
Um, it kind of depends on what companies, because I know in the Attitude Era, uh, WWF were obviously sharing talent with a lot of Japanese companies and Mexican companies as well. That's why you had like random people coming into like the Royal Rumble and whatnot.
yeah,
Um, I mean, that's technically how WWE got to Jerry anyway. We first saw him when he was still in ECW.
yeah,
Um, kind of when not many knew who he was unless they were ECW fans, and then obviously when he came to WWE full time as Regal's lackey, he was more well known. But I don't know. It depends. Like I said, it depends on what company's sharing talent. If it's indie companies, then yeah, because they very rarely have anyone locked down on contract anywhere.
Yeah,
Everyone's kind of an independent contractor.
yeah,
But
because then if a WWE talent, say he wrestles on TNA, who's really paying for him to do that?
yeah, I mean the closest that's come is probably Christian.
Yeah,
Yeah, see, I kind of wish that how when back in the good old days when like WCW and WWE were kind of hacking each other's roster. See, I'd love that to still be the case now, but everything's so much more political and so tight and whatnot.
yeah,
It probably wouldn't happen. Well, it definitely wouldn't happen, which is a shame.
no,
But yeah, I guess it depends on because there's no point bringing in like this big star to one company that's like full of I don't want to say rookies, but kind of people that are just new to the business.
yeah,
Because then the big star won't be able to have a proper match because you won't be able to trust the person. So I don't know. That's how I sort of rationalize my yes and maybe thing. Hopefully that made sense.
yeah,
It's still really early in the morning here. We're recording this really early, so I don't even know if I'm
yeah.
speaking half the time. I go into autopilot and noises occur.
Yeah, and I may actually fall asleep and actually start talking in my sleep at some point.
Oh, velvet sky.
It's like, oh, that much. Oh.
What was that Spanish?
I don't know what that was. I'm gonna blame that more on me being tired. Uh,
I know how to keep you awake anyway. Just imagine if you fall asleep during the show, all you'll see
mhm.
is Tensai on the wrecking
Oh
ball
no, no.
going shh. Speaking of Tensai, he did a good job on NXT commentary.
Yeah, I was really surprised. I didn't know he could do that well with being in that role.
I told you he was a funny guy.
And you were right.
Yeah, but I've seen him on like loads of like on Beyond the Mat and even in interviews just that have like seminars and whatnot. He's a genuinely funny guy.
Yeah,
He
and
just looks like a big teddy bear. Yeah.
Alrighty. Moving right along here. Next question from Tim. What would be your dream match for Hell in a Cell if you could choose the wrestlers and why?
Did you have an idea for this?
I don't know. I always thought that the Undertaker and Mick Foley did probably a perfect job of this kind of a match.
Oh yeah. I mean, we don't even know if that match officially got started.
No, I don't remember the bell ringing.
No. I'd like to see a big cruiserweight Hell in the Cell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean I guess that's sort of been done in like when they've had like in I guess in the old I don't know, does it still do lockdown pay-per-views in TNA?
I not that I've seen recently.
But the one that had when Alex Skipper, is that I'm sure that's how you say his name. You know what I mean? Or Elix
Uh,
Skipper, when he kind of ran across the top of the cage and then Hurricane ran at Christopher Daniels, I think it was. I mean, obviously you don't want another Teddy Hart incident, but
yeah.
uh, yeah, I don't know. I think there's a lot of cage matches and cell matches. They rely too much on sort of the bigger guys, which automatically limits what they can do. So I'd like to see how well the cruiserweights sort of utilize it and everything, because I think that'd be an interesting thing to see.
Yeah, it would definitely be different from what they normally do.
And it'd be great for people like Tyson Kidd.
Oh, yeah. That would be
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, yeah. That's what I'm sticking to. I'm not even going to give my brain a chance to even think of another thing.
Okay. All right, so we'll move into the next question from Tim, who asks, "What retired wrestlers do you think still have a match left in the tank for WrestleMania, and who would be their opponent?"
I think wrestlers that are truly retired are retired for a reason.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, 'cause I couldn't come up with anybody for this.
Mick Foley, but probably not. I don't know. See, I think Ricky Steamboat will always be able to go, but I'm not sure if he's officially retired.
Yeah, he always looks like he's in good shape.
His match that he had with Jericho was awesome,
Yeah,
although that was kind of a 3-on-1 because
yeah,
he
that's
beat
true.
like Piper and Snooker, was it possibly?
I think, yeah, I think Jimmy Snuka was involved in that.
And then he had this really cool match with Steamboat. So I'm going to say Steamboat. I guess if you kind of balance them out a bit and you try and find the best match for him, probably RVD.
Yeah, I could see that.
I think that'd be good.
Alrighty, let's get into our last question here. Looks like a really long quote that CM Punk said.
Yeah.
I'll try to read through it. He says, "Sir, you pay for your ticket. You want to boo, that's fine. But I dare you to step in between these ropes, and you will never boo again because I will render you a toothless, crying heap of a man. I'm pissed off, and I want to fight. So if you have the balls, I dare you, Fatso, to step up, be a man, and fight CM Punk. Come on, son. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. I will render you to tears. Come on, be a man. Shut your mouth." From CM Punk. Do you think the fan deserved this rant, or was Punk just being an asshole?
Well, anyone that's seen how Punk reacts to things on the Indies, they know that that's just him being him.
Yeah.
Um, that's if Pete. Thing is, though, he wouldn't do that to someone who was just booing. I've seen the video clip that quote's taken from, and he
Yeah.
was just the fan was just shouting just random crap at him.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think he deserved that. I mean, if you're gonna mouth off at Punk, he will mouth off back, and that's what makes him awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. I think Dixie Carter should start taking lessons from him as far as interacting with the
Well,
crowd.
I don't think Dixie Catcher is that challenging fans to fights.
No, well, no, but just you know what I mean, and not necessarily in the fact that she's going to fight them, but to at least to stand back up to them.
Yeah, although I should probably, I don't know, I should like, get them all raved up and go, right, go get him, Ethan. And then
Yeah.
he'd just do that. He's bulked up. Derek Bateman's bulked up a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's like I keep telling myself it's Derek Bateman, but it just doesn't look like him anymore.
He's transformed into Ethan Carter.
He really has. I think he's doing a great job.
All right, and unfortunately, it is the last question. Hopefully, next week we can have these guys step it up a little more.
Yeah, I'll I don't know. I guess a name tag a bunch of people again.
Yeah, that really worked the last time you did it,
Oh
and
yeah.
you didn't need to do it last week, but I don't know. I don't know why the drop
I
off.
think Jade did it last week,
Yeah.
possibly.
All right, so I guess with that, all the questions done. We'll get into some plugs before we go. First off, again, plug in the Facebook group. It's called Intelligent Wrestling Talk. Tons of topics every day, chats, polls, just about everything wrestling. If you're a fan of wrestling and you're listening to the show, but you're not in our group, I question you why. And speaking of things that we do in our group, we do top tens. One of our members collects all the votes submitted by all of our members, and we our latest one is the top 10 UK wrestlers, which you worked quite extensively on and did a pretty good job at it.
Yeah, top 10. I mean, they're fun to do, but they're just time consuming to put together to make sure that every transition and all the little graphics and whatnot all kind of, work fluidly and whatnot. But yeah, I I enjoyed doing that one. It probably didn't take as long as the one previously, which was just top 10 best wrestlers in general. And it wasn't
Yeah.
necessarily favourites, it was just, actual, that's,
Yeah.
yeah.
And the current one that we're gonna be working on, I think, I'm pretty sure Jade, one of our members in our group, actually put this together. He put one for this month. I think tomorrow is the last day to vote. I want to call it Halloween themed, but I don't think it was Halloween themed.
I think it was just sort of, I think it was just costume characters. That's what I've
Yeah,
always called it anyway. But yeah, I mean, if wrestlers have had kind of Halloween style attires, then yeah, they still count, but it's not strictly Halloween.
but yeah, so you should definitely get in on that. So everyone's I don't know how many people voted already, but we do have quite a few. I'll have to take
Yeah,
a look at that afterwards.
there's enough votes for us to see an obvious clear winner so far.
Yeah.
People love Aldo Montoya.
But yeah, and then I guess while we're here, we can feel free to plug your YouTube channel.
Yes, I have a YouTube channel. It's www. Of course, youtube.com/Generation Specs, where I do a bunch of various things. My slogan is a little bit of everything, and there's gameplay content from all sorts of genres and games and whatnot. There's wrestling content. There's a lot of sort of Dean Ambrose parodies where he nopes along to certain songs. We've got Daniel Bryan yesing and knowing to certain songs. We've got a little show I do called BS Wrestling News, where I talk about some sort of fictional stories of the wrestling world, or maybe or not the wrestling world, so to speak. But we've got stuff like CM Punk being escorted out of Disneyland for making lewd comments to princesses. Got Andre the Giant actually being a bunch of midgets in a costume.
That's a good one.
All sorts. I've got the next two shows written, and by the time this show is out, as in this show that we're recording now, I should have recorded the second episode of it. I'm doing that later today.
Alrighty.
It's just been so hard to find time to do it.
Yeah.
I've also got a little AJ Lee tribute sort of on there that I did called The Chronicles of AJ Lee. I think that's the latest one I've got on there. So that's youtube.com/Generation Specs. Feel free to check out and subscribe for all sorts of crazy geeky fun.
Alrighty, so I think we pretty much covered everything as far as that goes. So that'll do it for this week. And I would like to remind you all that there's only one way to talk wrestling.
Intelligently. And there's only one way to learn about it: on the internet.